Hello everyone and welcome to my office. It's a bit windy here tonight, so I hope that doesn't disturb the recording, but earlier today I wrote an Ascension Update which I released on social media already, and I just wanted to create this video to read it out to you for those who prefer to listen than to read. So here we go. It's called The Extremist Nature of Personal Opinions. It is certainly not a notion that many listeners will necessarily like, yet I would like to open this note by relaying to you that it is a metaphysical truth that by their very nature, personal opinions, as well as often held collective opinions, can be seen to be always extreme at their core. And, therefore, anyone choosing to hold personal or collective opinions as truths can be considered a mental extremist, or rather a thought extremist from a metaphysical perspective. Consider this. By definition, to even form a personal opinion, a mind user must create a mental overview of the situation that he or she is presented with. Then, one must separate this overview into individual pieces: what is true and what is not true, what is good and what is evil, what is to be judged and what is to be praised about a certain person or situation, for instance. Next, one must eliminate the largest section of the overview that one once had at the start of forming the personal opinion. In the end, one is left with the tiniest part of the total energy, for instance, a situation, a person, an interaction between people, etc., that one started out with when forming the opinion. This, then, is when the personal opinion is fully formed. Now, in itself, this process of elimination would not be so problematic as to be called extreme. The problem arises when, immediately after the formation of the personal opinion, the mind user will be instructed to remove from their perspective all of the original overview that is no longer necessary to maintain the opinion that was formed. This includes all the data points that have been labeled as incorrect. More problematic, however, is that it also includes the removal of any overriding data or information that may arise when sharing the personal opinion or when acting from it towards others, especially when they have extra information that ties into the previously established incorrect data points. Now, a conundrum comes to the surface, and this becomes more ingrained the longer the personal opinion is held, because due to the elimination of the total overview and the now mistaken assumption that the remaining pieces that formed the personal opinion to begin with is the complete overview of datasets, the mind user is no longer able, in most cases, to relabel the originally established and possibly mistaken facts that formed the opinion in the first place, and can no longer open up to the original overview of information with which one started. While it is possible, of course, with enough neutrality and mental balance, to override this mistaken, limited data set and widen the scope of perception and interpretation once again, most of the time, new data that makes the old data that formed the opinion obsolete and incorrect can no longer be accepted, no matter how obvious it may be to an outside observer. When it comes to collectively held opinions, the path to the full overview and to the clarity of truth becomes even more difficult to achieve. Because in these types of often countrywide, society-wide, or religion-wide held beliefs and opinions, the process of elimination, blind spotting, and eventually rejecting any new data is not merely limited to the single mind user, but to the entire collective of users surrounding the individual, often both family-wide and society-wide. As such, both personally held and collectively held opinions, metaphysically seen, are extremist by their very nature, due to the extreme type of exclusion that is executed in the mental maneuver of creating and locking in the opinion in the first place. Closing the mind down to the universal love and to the unified connection to the one beloved infinite creator, which both exist in all beings as the path towards and the goal of unification and ascension, respectively, is the prerequisite of the inevitable shutting down of the heart. When this point is reached, the opinion and its limitations often become permanent, leading to a closing down of the creative aspect of the self and of the whole experienced by the self, which is located in the belly. Following this step, the mind user can be seen to be under complete control of the mind itself. This far in, only true metaphysical ascension study and the need for a teacher, even temporarily so, is needed in order to offer clarity of thought. Not forming personal opinions or not copying collective opinions does not lead to a person that has no ideas, or no considerations or no thoughts about anything. Far from it. When the field of mental observation remains neutral and open, when it continues to be open to its own mistakes, when it continues to have the ability to process new data when it is presented, and when it can allow itself the gift of continuing to see things, people, events, and situations in a new and different light, the person's mind, heart, and belly will be attuned to what is often referred to in modern day terms as the higher self. From there on, the pathway that is the soul itself will be revealed, and one will encounter all beings within their own heart center, including, not in the least, the beloved divine creator God itself. This mental work of remaining open and whole is a major requirement for anyone choosing to walk the ascension path from the perspective of service to others and of service to the whole, who wants to abandon the possibility of being lured down service to self-oriented loops, which, cleverly, might initially present themselves to the mind user as loopholes, and crystal clarity as seeing through it all, or as calling a spade, and these types of settings, but which, to the outside observer and the witness perspective, can clearly be seen to be the time-wasting and often life-ending loops that they truly are. That was what I wanted to share with you. You can also find the transcript of this article underneath the video in the description. I look forward to hearing your opinions in the comments below. Have a wonderful day.